Hello my loyal companions, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to be taking a look at Mack and specifically his ability Lightbomb, because I know this has been giving a lot of players a difficult time in terms of how to use it. It is an ability with a really high skill cap, so I want to bring you a guide to show you a little bit better how you might be able to pull this off in game. If you do go on to enjoy the video or you just want to see daily, educational, rogue comedy content, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. But for now, let's get into it. So I'm going to start off by talking about what Lightbomb is, how it works, and some of the statistics behind it, so you get an idea of exactly what kind of time frame you're looking at using this ability in. Lightbomb is Mack's ability that works essentially as a detonation flashbang. After planting it down at a short charge-up period, you have a really big radius at which you can flash enemies upon reactivating this ability. It also jumps up over a lot of cover, so you'll be able to flash people in a really big area. When you place it down, you have 3 seconds before it fully charges up, and this charge-up period not only increases the height at which it jumps up, but also the radius at which it will flash. That radius is 30 meters in every single direction, which is actually huge if you really think about it in terms of a full 60-meter circle. When you place it down, you have 15 seconds at any point to reactivate the ability to use the flashbang at your own will. If not, and you wait the entire 15 seconds, it will go off automatically. As Mack, you'll see the area that can be flashed as a big blue circle, as will your teammates. But for the enemies, what they'll see is a big red circle showing them that they really shouldn't move into this area. Also, they will see the exact position of Lightbomb on the map, and if it is a white indicator, it means they are safe from the flashbang, either if they're in cover or some way removed from it, or if they see it as red, they know they're going to get flashed by it. The fact enemies can see this means that they really have to put themselves out of position to actually be hit by this ability, and this is why so many people are finding it hard to use, because it's just so counterable by not walking into the radius. However, I think there are 3 ways that this ability can be used effectively, even if you don't necessarily flash someone every time, but that can really change the game and really harness the power of what I think is one of the best abilities in the game. I should also note that people flashed by Mack's ability are flashed for 5 seconds, which is an incredibly long time, so you really don't want to be getting flashed by this if you can help it. The first way that I think you can use Mack's ability is for pure zone control. This is going to have the same impact as something like a Vi Poison, Trench Barbed Wire, or Anvil Shield, similar to the other defenders, and it is purely to make enemies not want to cross into a certain area or have to think twice about their positioning. By planting Lightbomb down in areas where they're going to have to move into danger to get to a position they want to hold, that really does put the enemy under pressure and maybe will give you a couple seconds to stop off the approach. I find in Rogue Company people are not that good at adapting to new situations than what they had in their head originally. So placing down Lightbomb really does put them under a lot of pressure to come up with something new, a different path, a different plan of attack before the detonation goes off. I think this is the main way you're going to be using Lightbomb. It can go down really in any position. There are a few really good ones. For example, I think on defensive side of High Castle, putting this down in mid can stop any sort of mid push really early on and force them to adapt to somewhere else. That also gives your team time to rotate into different positions when you find out their location. But also places like B Street on Vice can be a really good option. Anywhere on Icarus would actually be really good due to the tight, close nature of the map. But you have to sort of think about where these would be best. And actually, guys, if you want, let me know in the comments, do you want to see a 10 best Lightbomb locations video coming from me on the channel? But that's the first way I recommend using Lightbomb, and the most simplest way is this zone control, just putting it down to stall the enemies for that 15 seconds, or really make them question whether they want to push through that. And of course, guys, if they do push through that location when you place it down, just reactivate it, flashbang them, and then ape them to actually make the use of that ability. Do punish them where you can for making that positional mistake, and use that 5-second flash to your advantage. Of course, they added it so you can see an indicator of how many people you flashed, and you see their eyes glow up white if you flashbang them, so you know exactly who the easy targets are. The second way of using Lightbomb puts you under a little bit more pressure when you're doing it and makes you have to think a little bit more, but I think is equally as effective as the first. And this is to be using it for objective control. Now, when I say objective, I mean pretty much everything from planting the bomb, defusing the bomb, getting a revive, or even just covering teammates when necessary. When you're looking to take yourself out of the fight for whatever reason, again, whether this be defusing the bomb or reviving a teammate, having Lightbomb at your disposal, placing that down right there, means that any enemies who try and disrupt that process you're trying to do are going to put themselves at a lot of danger. You can flash them, turn on them, and then make a move from there. I don't see a lot of people actually using Lightbomb in this way. I think they're looking for better opportunities necessarily, but sometimes the safe play is just to place Lightbomb down, stick the revive, say that you're in a 1v3 situation, your teammate has gone down, and you could revive them to make it a 2v3. Well, if you try and revive them normally, you're likely going to get pushed. If you place Lightbomb down first, the enemy's going to have to really think about whether they want to move into that position, get potentially flashed and turned on, and maybe even up the odds a little bit. So it's a great way of just helping secure any objective. I personally really like it for planting the bomb a lot of the time. If I know that I'm kind of putting myself in a bit of a risky position to get a really nice plant off that I can use and hold from any position, I might use Light Bomb just so I'm a little bit safer when trying to get this bomb plant down. On the note of securing objectives, I also really like to use Mack's ability when I'm on attack and I have planted the bomb, putting it down in the last 15-20 seconds before the bomb detonates, and then forcing enemies who go to try and defuse the bomb to have to be flashed if they want to get that off. I really, really like it in this way. It is a little bit harder to pull off because you will have to be pretty much on the bomb until the very last minute, but that flashbang can really help you save rounds when you've got the bomb down. The third and final way that I want you to use Light Bomb is the hardest, but definitely amazing if you can get it off. And I think this is what's going to separate the good and the great Mack's. This third way is to use it for outplay potential. And this means that when you are pushing or when you are getting pushed, finding an opportunity, finding an angle to place down Light Bomb that will help actually flash enemies aggressively. This one pretty much completely relies on actually being able to flash them. You're not putting it in a power position. You're not using it for an objective. You are using it purely to aggressively flash somebody. The easier way of doing this is if you know you're about to be pushed, placing it down so they have to push into your flashbang. This often leads to really good outplay potential. I've seen some really good clips of people using it in this way, and is generally the easier way of using it to outplay. Is maybe you take a bad trade, maybe you're on low health, and they're about to push you around a box. Well, instead of playing Ring Around the Rosie, just plant Light Bomb down, run around to the other side, they'll chase you, flash that Light Bomb, and then you'll be able to win that fight nice and easy, as long as you don't get shot by their pre-fire. But you could also use this aggressively, and it's much harder, but very rewarding when you get it off. And this is the sort of thing where, say you're pushing somebody who's around like a half cover, so not a full cover, you run up to that cover, place Light Bomb behind it, and then flash so that it pops up over the top, and they are flashed, and then you can push them. There's a few different situations and actually a lot of different circumstances where you could probably pull this off on the map, but it really makes you think about where you need to place it, whether you can get it off, whether you should actually just shoot instead because the time to plant Light Bomb may be too much, and you really do have to engage your brain when using this. This is why I think it will separate the good and the great Mack's, because it requires a lot more thought, a lot of knowledge about how high this will jump and whether it will actually flash the person. But if you can start using it aggressively for outplay potential, you're going to be one of the best Mack's in the game because people haven't quite figured this out yet. They haven't figured out the best way of using this. And that's kind of what I want this guide to be, is to show you a few different ways that you might be able to use it that could be really beneficial. And then have one final tip for you guys that is so overlooked with Mack's ability that I think if you can start pulling off, you're going to do much better as Mack. And that is to remember that you can activate Light Bomb when you go down. People do not remember this, and neither do the enemies. So what this means is that if you know you're about to be pushed and killed, you can plant Light Bomb down, then get downed and still activate it before you get full killed to give your teammates a chance to actually play off that flashbang. You can see this in so many situations, but nobody ever uses it this way, and it's the biggest flaw that I see from a lot of Mack's who are looking to be quite good. Remember, you can use this while you're downed. It is a mechanic they added in. It is very unique to Mack, and is honestly one of the best pieces of equipment you can use in this sense. Okay then guys, that takes us to the end of the video, and if you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also come follow me on twitch.tv/RADTHARGAMING to see live gameplay commentaries, guides, Q&As, and playing with viewers. All the links you're gonna need are down in the description below, but for now, I hope you have a fantastic day. And remember, be loyal, be brave, be relentless, and I'll catch you in the next